Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathleen Dean, and I'm the producer for the Miami-Fort Lauderdale 48-hour film project. And I'd like to welcome you to our third and final virtual workshop tonight. We have a very special program lined up. We're going to bring you 4 48-hour filmmakers who have utilized the 48-hour platform for telling stories that involve activism and protests. And we couldn't do all of this without the support of the Broward County Cultural Division. The 48-hour film project is the oldest time film competition in the world. We are in 120 some cities around the globe, and it's an annual event where you have a wild, sleepless weekend and you and a group of friends or family make a movie in 48 hours. So I'd like to now bring on Philip Dunlap, the director of the Broward County Cultural Division, to say a few words.
Hello there. Thank you very much, Kathleen, for that great introduction. My name is Phil Dunlap. I am the director of the Broward County Cultural Division. We are the largest investor of public funds into the arts and culture sector here in Broward County. We're a proud supporter of the 48-hour film project. And I want to give a big thank you to Kathleen Dean for helping to make this project happen, for spearheading it, for helping keep the spirit of independent film alive through the Miami-Fort Lauderdale International Film Project, which is now in its 11th year. We're pleased to continue to support the 48-hour film project and working with Kathleen to utilize our digital resources to produce more programming opportunities for our independent film community. We do this work and we support this work because we firmly believe in the importance of developing independent filmmakers, all who make up the film industry, both in front and behind the cameras. And thank you to everyone that is participating in the offerings for this year's 48-hour film project. Obviously, we know due to COVID that a lot of things that used to be possible are not currently possible, but I think we're making a good go at utilizing the resources in the digital space to bring this programming to you. Our goal is to keep the 48-hour film project active throughout the year. And we have to keep in mind that action is at the heart of advocacy, and your participation in the 48-hour film project is a form of advocacy for the arts. If you're interested in exploring this, please join our mailing list. You can click on the comments for a link, or you can copy the link that's on your screen right now. And with that, I'm going to conclude my remarks. And as they say in show business, let the show go on. Kathleen, take it away.
Thank you so much, Phil. So now I want to bring on those special filmmakers. We are preparing for another edition of the 48-hour film project this year. As Phil mentioned, we've had to make a lot of adjustments due to COVID, and we want to bring you a safe and fun event this year. So everything has gone virtual. We'll be doing our kickoff on Zoom. Our screenings will be online, and the award ceremony will be streamed live to you, as well as we'll have a small socially distanced group on hand for that. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on who are all award winners. So I'd like to introduce you to the first, who is Juliet Romeo. Juliet.
Hi.
Hi there, thank you and welcome. The next filmmaker I'd like to invite to join our stream, or filmmakers, are Wayne Wild and Adele Robinson Rodriguez.
Hey. Hi. Oh, there you go. Hi.
Hey guys.
There you go. Hi. Welcome. And finally, we have our veteran 48-hour filmmaker, Tom Lehmann.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey, Tom. So welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. My pleasure. You all have been invited because you've utilized the 48-hour platform for advocacy and activism in your storytelling, and brought, to the screen and to our community some very, very informative and important stories. So I want to talk a little bit now about how you guys found out about the 48-hour film project, and what your experience has been like participating. Let's start with you, Juliet.
I started back in 2013 with Machine King Media's team, and I've worked with them ever since, except for 2015, I led my own team, Media Jewels, and I've been doing it ever since. The last one was 2017.
Okay, great. And Adele and Wayne, how did you find out about the 48-hour film project?
I think we were, some friends of ours had participated in 2017 and they told us about it. So 2018 was our first time going at it. And then we came back 2019 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had some friends who had participated and told us about it because they know we like filmmaking. So it was awesome.
And then he let me know and I was like, 48 hours? Is it possible?
But it is.
Yeah. Tom. So Tom has a very special story because Tom has been around longer than me. How did you find out about the 48?
Back all the way to 2006. And my a music partner, Corey Dwyer, who used to run the band Crazy Fingers, which is a Grateful Dead cover band, he came up to me and said, "Hey, there's this thing this weekend that we're going to go make a movie." And I said, "Well, all right, let's go do it." And so we jumped in a car, went down to Miami. I bought this old SD Canon camera, didn't even know how to use it, had no idea how to edit anything. We had to figure it out that weekend. And we went and grabbed a couple friends, made a movie, and that was my first time.
I've been coming ever since.
So,
It's addictive. It is addictive.
This will be 15 movies that we made.
Wow.
If I make one there.
That's awesome.
15.
So cool.
Very impressive. And let's just share with the viewers how the 48-hour works. So we are kicking off this weekend, Friday night, and there's still time to register. So you guys want to talk about the kickoff experience? That's sort of like the first thing that happens.
Yeah.
We've been in a bar, right? Usually we're in a bar, and you guys going to want to do a couple shots, virtually. I guess you could do that. But we'd drive down to Miami or wherever they had at Fort Lauderdale. And do you want me to go through the whole thing, or give somebody else a chance?
Yeah. Well,
I was gonna say, just don't get.
Okay, so let me just add that when I joined the 48-hour, one of my missions was to spread the love to Broward County. So I made a concerted effort to start events in Broward County and to have pre-events and kickoffs and drop-offs here too, to make it easier for our filmmakers in this part of the neck of the woods. So we're in a bar or an open airy space. And I think last year we did it at the Kava Bar in Hollywood.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And so then what happens? Wayne, you want to jump in?
Well, you meet a bunch of people, which is awesome. And especially in the Kava Bar, everybody's naturally chill. So you network with people. Sometimes people are looking for groups to be a part of, or lots of people come in with their own groups established. And then you get your criteria and you figure it out. You get to work.
There's a bunch of genres in a hat. You pick them out, and when you pick a paper, there are two genres are on there, and you cannot switch. You cannot put it back. So what you get is what you get, and and then you're given like a line that must be in the film, a character that must be in the film, and then a prop that must be in the film. And then you've got 48 hours to do it in complete fullness. Do it, film it, edit, and then drop it off. And
it's a rush.
Yeah, you have your actors just waiting at bay to find out what the genre is and who's gonna be who, what character.
Waiting for the script to be written.
Yeah.
So that Friday night, that's usually when you guys start the writing process, or if you write a story.
The conversation, the writing process. For us, we kind of go around in a circle and just give our ideas. We give each other about 30 minutes to everyone comes up with something to pitch, and then we decide what is the best idea. And then the designated writer writes it, which is usually me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
we do the same thing. We sit around in a circle. Yeah. It's usually, or usually it's our little circle, or it's Wayne and I, and we're just throwing ideas back and forth. And we're like, whoa, wait.
Yeah,
there's something there.
We take the best parts of everyone's stuff, and when we put it together, it's beautiful.
Tom, what's your process?
Well, what we do is, we get the genre, we get the elements, and then we think about the elements, try to construct the storyline around those things, and try to take the line and make that emphasized, or if you can't, sometimes you end up just throwing a fan in. There's the thing. But we try to do that. And what we don't do is we don't try to have any kind of preconceived notion. We kind of have a blank slate, and then as soon as we get everything, we start talking on the way home, driving back, if we're driving back, and then it kind of evolves out of each person's idea. Bam, 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 bam. And then we kind of have it's not quite formed, and it takes until the next day to really come out after you sleep on it. And then we start throwing it together that day, and we edit as we go. And we ad-lib everything. Nothing's written down, just an idea of what direction.
That's cool.
That definitely is a great idea. And obviously it's worked for you 15 times or 14 times so far.
I mean, I don't know where it comes from. It just shows up. I'm going, oh, that's a great joke. Because most of our stuff ends up being dark comedies, no matter what it is. I don't know why. It just does. But anyway.
So, there are always things. Oh, how large are the groups? Someone's asking a question. So I'm going to chat with the group right now about the 48 hour, and then we're going to break off individually and talk to them individually about their films. So at the end, our audience, you can save your questions and ask them at the end if they're specifically for the filmmakers. But any questions that you have about the 48-hour film project, let them fly. We're here to answer them. So how large are the groups? The groups can be anywhere from one person to as many as you can convince to spend a wild weekend with you. And I think here in our neck of the woods, our largest team may have been, I want to say maybe 30 people. So
I think so. I've seen them big.
Yeah,
especially last year with the musicals. That was big.
Oh wow, that one was big.
So there's a few things you can do before the actual filmmaking weekend. So you're allowed to test out your equipment, scout for locations, audition actors. Have any of you been involved in any pre-production activities prior to the weekend that fall within, what's acceptable by the 48?
I have. Our team leader, Robert Smith, is meticulous. And he has things that, we're planning for this, it's the Super Bowl of filmmaking short films for us. So maybe the month of, we have a huge meeting, because usually our team is, some of the same familiar faces we use from the first time. And we have a meeting. If we have any new people, we introduce them. We make it a whole, fun night of game nights, and just really build this camaraderie between each other. So by the time the date comes, it's everyone knows everyone, and we can just get moving. Also, we kind of talk about what do we want, especially when we did this film that you guys are going to see. We talked about what's important to us this year. What do we want? What kind of stories do we want to talk about? What kind of things do we want to say? Or what's really on our minds? So no matter what our genre is, we kind of want to put the element that we felt was really important to us in the film. So it's really fun being on that team.
Okay, cool. It's great having a leader that's so meticulous as Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wayne, so you were the team leader for your team. Are there any activities that you guys engaged in prior to kickoff?
Yeah, well, the first year that we tried the 48, we did a lot more prep and a lot more practice. We quickly realized that it is a lot of improv, and so a lot of what you prep is kind of going to fly out the window anyway. So the second year we had a lot less, but we do generally like reach out to all of our actor friends and let them know, like, hey, would you be available this weekend? We may or may not need you because we don't know who we'll need up until the day of. But we just send out like mass text to all of our people to see if they could. And then whoever we end up needing or who can come through, that's who's in it. Yeah, that's who's in it.
And Tom, how about you?
Well, the first one that we started in 2006 was just me and Corey. And a friend of mine, Joe Park, knocked on my door that morning. I said, hey, you and your son want to be in a film? And we got them. And put them. The second year, we had 4 people. It was me, Jan, Melody, and Kurt. And only Jan and I knew each other. And we only knew each other for 2 days because I ran into him at the beach with a beautiful Panasonic camera. At that time, it was like the best camera you could use. I said, hey, what are you doing? And he goes, nothing. And I said, you want to make a movie? He goes, okay. And so we all kind of came together. And then after that, this guy, Kurt Dunlap, had gone to film school. And so he goes, can you help me with making a short film? It ended up being a full-length feature superhero film called Lucky Streak and the Crime Fighters.
Cool.
I don't know. Movie ever, but it was. I learned a lot on it, and we had a big crew. And he got an actress from Hollywood, and a bunch of stuff. But then after that, we had some big crews, and we even had a crane on one film. I was like, but the more people we had, more stuff would go wrong, more problems we would, and then we'd run out of time. And so we kind of whittled it down. And in the Drill Me a New Hole, we had a huge cast because we had a whole bar filled with people. So that was the biggest, probably biggest one. And now it's down to like, smaller numbers.
Okay. So, when you have that tight deadline, I'd like to think it spurs the creativity, right? Because you don't have time to really second guess yourself or to, throw away too many ideas. You got to do it. But things can go wrong. So, things can go right. Are there any stories that stick out to you guys in your experience making 48-hour films? Is there anything monumental that happened or anything life-changing that you want to share?
Yeah. Well, we were making a film. Wow. It was called, I forget the name. We made a film. Oh, it's called Race of Survivors. It was a thriller. So this is the one we had the crane on. We had all these people and this guy. And so we shoot all day Saturday, right? And we didn't edit, during the day like we do now. At the end of the day, we go to look at everything. There's no sound. The guy didn't have the sound plugged in. So we had to reshoot it the next morning. And we got it done. We got it in by like 7 o'clock, whenever it was. Wow. That was the worst thing that ever happened. And it actually came out better because we had better ideas for the more action. So that was the worst.
That's stressful, and I know that's happened to quite a few filmmakers. Yeah. Sound is so important in making a movie, and it's often like one of the things that a lot of new filmmakers put last on their list of things to worry about, but it's crucial. Juliet, anything?
What comes to mind is we had this 1 year. The prop was a pill, and we did this story around someone who needed to take their medication and they had to get to the pharmacy. So we had the pharmacy scene set in the location, and then as soon as we got there, they were like, oh, you can't shoot here. And the director was like, I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll just take it out. Now, as a writer, that does to pull out an entire scene would like ruin the story, especially when it is a pivotal point. I mean, we had already gotten some shots of the pill, but it just wouldn't have made sense if we didn't have the establishment shot of the pharmacy. And I created an entire pharmacy. We got like a board, a chalkboard, and someone that can draw actually drew like a little pill box, and we called it the 48-hour pharmacy in the back, and we popped it up. Yes. And then we put some shelves, and we got like anything in the medicine cabinet, and we just put it on the shelf to make it look like it was a pharmacy. And then we had the person acting as the pharmacist standing behind it. It actually looked really good. And I was like, wait a minute, guys, I'm a set designer now. So
you become many things during the 48 hours.
Yeah, so that's another thing about the 48 is that I realized you get to realize all the other talents you wouldn't have thought about before. And so that's one of my proudest moments, although it was one of like the craziest moments where we thought, oh, this is not going to work. But I just was like, we were all determined. By the time the DP came back, like he got the news, he called us. By the time he got back to the location, he's like, oh shoot, there's a pharmacy. How'd you guys do this? So we got the shot.
You got the shot. It's all that matters. You got the shot.
Yeah.
Adele and Wayne, any crazy stories?
Well, I remember the first year for Inspecting Expected, our two genres were sports film and comedy. And for way too long, we were still trying to stick with sports film. And then maybe after about an hour and a half, we dropped it and just stuck with comedy. But we were thinking about locations, and we were thinking about soccer fields and parks. And that was some of the only places we had. And so when we dropped soccer field, we were thinking about locations, and it seemed pretty hopeless. And then our friend Daniel Stearns, who we were working with, was like, well, my mom doesn't work tomorrow, and we might be able to use her doctor's office.
And we were like,
a doctor's office?
We might or not.
Call her right now. Call her.
He was like,
He calls her and she says, yeah, no one's gonna be in the office tomorrow as long as you guys clean up. And so we were like, this is it. This is literally the sign. We have to do it around medicine or a doctor's office. And that shaped the whole portion of the film. But that was like a godsend, that location. It was awesome.
It's awesome when those magical things happen that everything just kind of falls right into place.
And especially dropping sports film, because I remember there was a moment where I was like, but are we that good at sports? Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute now.
Yeah, that one.
So to recap, we have our kickoff on a Friday night where the teams pick their genre out of a hat. This year we're doing our kickoff on Zoom. That should be interesting. And then we have the filmmaking weekend where you guys write it, shoot it, edit it. And then there's the drop off, which happens on Sunday by 7:30. Do you guys have any drop off experiences? Has it been, some teams are racing to the drop off at the last minute to get it in time, like craze, editing in the car, anything like that ever happened with you guys? Juliet looks like she has a story.
By the time that happens as the writer, most times I'm like, okay, guys, I don't really want this stress right now. So I'll just stay home and pray for you guys and keep texting me. But the year that I did my film, which was the promotion, I felt that stress. But I knew, because I knew that I had already done it like twice already. So I was like, we really need to, get there on time. I don't want to be that guy that's running in and, getting down to it's like 6:59. So we get to edit it, because I had a friend who said that she would edit, that was the one thing. I could not find an editor. I had found like maybe 5 editors. They all dropped out, were like missing in action. And I have a friend, Lauren McGarrett, and Lauren's like, Juliet, I could edit for you. Why didn't you just ask me to edit for you? And I was like, really? And she worked. She was like the head of like the Nova SUTV college studio. And so she's like, just show up on Sunday. No one's there but us. And we got up really early. We went and we edited it. And then me and my producer, Asha Chai Chang, we got to the drop off and we were so early. We were like, hey, let's just get drinks and watch everybody else. And so we were just sitting there like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's like, people were like literally not stopping the car. People are like rolling out, moving car, running to the drop off. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is intense. It was like a whole nother entertainment factor for us because we wanted to be early and we didn't want to be that guy that was showing up at 7:01. I mean, we got up at like 6 a.m. to edit. And we were like, there's no way we're not going to make it. We have 12 hours. If, we can't edit in 12 hours, then we shouldn't be doing this, So, but yeah, that's what I was doing because I'm like, it was just so almost enjoyable to watch everyone else run to the finish line. And we were just sitting there. So, but yeah, I have way too much anxiety to want to be last. I can't.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, no, we definitely get that. We don't leave until it's done on Saturday night. So Wayne and I, we know now to just stay up all night, bags packed in case, because I'm like, we're not going to sleep.
Yeah, literally. Friday night, we don't separate until the script's done. I remember the first year we did it, we were out until like 1:30 a.m. And then we were like, all right, the script is finished. We'll see you in 8 hours or whatever, because we're filming. And then we meet up at like 11 or earlier than that. We shoot until like 4. And then that night it's editing. And that night we probably stayed editing until like 2 or almost 3. And then that way the next day there's no rush because our anxiety kills us too. That's our worst nightmare. Being late or missing the deadline would suck.
And I do remember also that first night when we finished the script and it was like close to 2 a.m. And then we were like, okay, bye, y'all. And then Wayne and I, we looked at each other and we were like, we have to make the shot list right now.
Yeah.
And then we stayed till like 3. We were like, we need the shot list. Yeah. That's what's going to save us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with me, because I'm like the first person to get the baton because I'm writing.
Yeah.
I've already stayed up from Friday to like Saturday. And then I have to stay because I'm the script supervisor to make sure the script is on point if the director wants any changes. So by Sunday, I'm like, okay, bye guys. I'm just
You've earned the right for some rest by Sunday.
Yeah.
I think you have a totally different experience. You're
when we first started, we did that. I mean, trying to render it. But you got to remember too, also back then, 2006 and 7, technology was nowhere near what it is today. I mean, Final Cut Pro, Premiere, those things, snap, anybody can learn them. So now I know how to edit. Jan edit, Melody edits, Owen, everybody can edit it. And so we go to bed early on Friday. Saturday. And they will be about 10, and we shoot for about 2-3 hours, and the whole time we're downloading and editing it. Oh, wow. Missed that shot. Got to do that shot. Come back, redo that. Bam, 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 bam. So when we get done on Saturday, we got a rough cut already done. And
I love that.
Awesome.
Great advice.
We just try to fix things and clean it up and put sound on it, music, and junk like that. And then we're on our way. Simple selling is what I mean. I'm not kidding you. That's how we do it.
That's awesome.
That's great advice. So registration is still open. Anyone who's watching out there, you can still sign up. You can go to our website, www.48hourfilmproject.com/Miami-FL, and you can sign up and register and participate in the 48-hour film project this weekend. Right now, I'd like to take some time. This session is about how these brilliant filmmakers have used the 48-hour platform to bring about stories of activism and advocacy. So I'd like to spend some time talking with each team individually. First up is Juliet. So Tom, Adele, and Wayne, I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.
See ya.
So if you have any questions for the filmmakers, hold them until the end. So Juliet, you and the Machine Kings Media made a very sensitive film, and just tell us about it.
I Deserve Better was an idea that Robert Tasmith came up with, and we really were talking, have a lot of discussions on what was happening in the world at the time. Was 2017, and it was right around the time that Philando Castile was murdered by police officers, and we really wanted to kind of make a statement on what was happening in the media when these unarmed men, Black men, are murdered. And so that's really where the story came about. He told me about his feelings and what he was thinking about. Him and a couple of his other friends also had, they were talking about doing a song, a rap song about it. And so we decided we have to try to get this into the 48 some way and see what we get. And that year we got, I believe it was drama. So it was kind of perfect because we could have made it anything. And so that's pretty much where it started.
Okay, and then you were tasked with writing that story. So tell me, where did you get your inspiration from for the script? And we have a clip from the film. Do you want to set that up? We could watch it, then we can come back and talk some more about it.
Yeah, I'm not sure which clip it is, but basically it's a film about a young boy who he gets blamed for, he's looked at as, a negative thug that was doing something wrong when he really wasn't, by the cops, and how the cops handle that when they find out the truth. So basically it's more of the side how the police should, how the police are handling it in the media, and how also the media is handling it. And so the young guy's sister decides to start a protest because she sees how they're, painting him in such a negative light.
Okay, so we're gonna watch I Deserve Better by the Machine Kings Media, written by Juliet Romeo, directed by Robert Tasmith.
Do to receive all the best in this crazy world. I'm blessed, so I know for sure. What you heard is what I deserve. I deserve the right to be me and not you. And not be judged by the rag on my dude. All your negative assumptions.
Yeah, it's in here, man.
I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Gonna get me high, right?
Higher than the rest of that bullshit that's out there.
Yeah.
You got the bread?
Oh, I got the bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy, man.
Be safe, dog.
You be safe.
911.
Yes, I think there's an intruder trying to get into my house.
Okay. And do you know who this person is? Had a 911 call from a female. States that there was a male in her house. No idea who it is.
This is car 49. Yeah, we're en route. There goes lunch. Cover the back entrance. Make sure everything's fine. And then they'll go knock. You got it.
Freeze! Turn around and put your hands in the air!
Whoa. So Juliet, tell me now, so you pulled together a pretty talented cast for that film, you and Rob and the team. Did you have your actors on board prior to pulling your genre?
We did. As I said before, Rob pretty much had everyone kind of set from like a month before, pulling people together from one meet and greets. And but we didn't know what we were going to do then. We didn't know we were going to be able to tell this story. One of the things that really helped me, believe it or not, to tell this story is Rob's obsession with that drone. He was like, we got to get this drone in the story. And I'm like, how? So that's basically how I decided the story would be told, is because this young boy wanted to get a drone.
Yeah. So for those watching, if you want to see, we have another clip, but if you want to see the film in its entirety, we're going to post the link in the chat. So Juliet, now, was this the first time that you tackled a topic like this through your writing?
No, I usually do go for a lot of social conscious type of stories where I'm trying to send a message. Or sometimes I just come straight out. I do a lot of documentaries. One of my biggest accolades is a documentary that I did called Jules, which stands for Just Using Life to End Sickle Cell. And it's about my personal journey with sickle cell thus far and the struggles that I've had with it, and a friend that I lost. And it did very well. And so now I'm actually working on the feature. But a lot of my narratives also always have a underlying story. And even some of the other films that we've done with the 48, for example, our first film, Unclean, it also received the audience favorite award that year in 2013. And we got to be on PBS because it was a horror special. And so they selected our film to be one of the PBS specials on the Art Loft. And that was about domestic violence. And that was the first film. So we do tend to pick a lot of social activism, or we want to make a statement about something that we feel, and just let people know how we feel about that. So, and it's worked for us.
It has. I mean, this year has been, I hate to use that term, unprecedented, but
yeah.
It's been a year like no other. We've had so much happen, not only, COVID, but the activists that have taken to the streets to protest, and all that's happened, with George Floyd, and, Breonna Taylor, and people wanting justice. So art is a really potent form of activism. I mean, it's definitely one way to amplify your voice as a creator and an artist.
I feel. Oh, got it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like even though that was done so early on before, what's happening now, how much more impactful. But I do think it was a movement that was already starting, and this was just. Today is just the opportunity that we have, because when I look at that film and I just look at what's happening today, even the woman that is calling the police instead of just answering her door, that's the whole, Karen situation that we have now. And so now there are terms for it, but we were really trying to express it in our film. So I always just see so many connections between life right now and the art that we made like 3 years ago, and it's like mind-blowing.
It really is. So we have another clip from the movie. I'd like to play that for our audience.
Okay.
So you were in fear for your life and the safety of your partner, is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Look, if you need to know anything else, you're gonna have to contact my union rep, okay?
Okay, thanks. Guess I'll go talk to the homeowner and see what she has to say.
I deserve better. I deserve better. I deserve better. I deserve better.
I'm here with the sister of Terrell Lober, Janine Lober, a museum curator at Union City Art Center. Miss Lober, what are you protesting if both the police and internal affairs agree that this is an open and shut case because your brother had a weapon?
My brother was innocent. He was not a thug, and he did not own a gun. And I will not let you or anyone else, for that matter, portray him like that. Since when does getting a D in math make you a criminal? And all of you failed to mention the A he received in computer technology. It's all just a campaign to stain my brother's character. All while Deborah Winston sits on her hands at Internal Affairs. She needs to do her job.
The nerve! He was on private property and he had a gun.
But honey, it's their constitutional right to protest.
This family probably had no idea what that boy was doing behind their back. Can you get that for me?
It's a sad situation.
This is Detective Winston.
Yeah, I saw Tyrell Lobu. Same day he got shot by them cops. See, I had this drone. I was selling this on the internet. He had called me, told me to hold it for him for a few weeks until he could scrape up the money to buy it.
So you think he broke into that old lady's house to get the money?
Nah. He bought the drone from me that day.
Juliet, we're so proud to have your storytelling be part of the 48-hour canon of films, which it's a wild, crazy sleepless weekend, but it also can be utilized as a platform to share and amplify important messages to the public. So our films typically screen, at a theater to an audience on the big screen, and then they also have an opportunity to travel. We have a event called Filmapalooza, where our best films go in there, play there, and then we are an international organization, so there are filmmakers all around the world watching, what we make here in South Florida. So thank you for utilizing the 48-hour platform for that very important film. You and Rob and the whole team.
Yeah, thank you.
So you mentioned your documentary work. Can you tell me a little bit about your production company and a little more about the films that you're making independently?
My production company, Media Jewels Productions, was started only 2 years ago. And at first it was really just to house the films that I was making, but also it has now developed into a place where I'm connecting with others to create other stories and work as a screenwriter, as I've always loved to do, which is one of my first loves. And this documentary is it's something that I wanted to do just to tell my story, but it really has taken a life of its own, and I'm really proud of it. And it's made me realize that I'm not just a sickle cell warrior, but I'm also an advocate for myself and for others. And so, especially with it being September Sickle Cell Awareness Month, and I just really encourage everyone to really go out there. Please donate blood, especially with COVID-19 happening. Blood supply is really low, and even though COVID is what everyone is focusing on, people like me and people with other debilitating diseases that need blood, we're still out here and we're struggling. So this is the story that I'm telling, and it has taken a turn because of COVID-19, because now there's just different regulations on the treatment. For example, you know, I get a monthly blood exchange to really help me cope monthly with the pain. And that's something that we've had to kind of, my doctors want me to kind of prolong that because they want to keep me out of the hospital. And so a lot of other patients are struggling with that as well. And I'm not as fortunate as I am to have the support or have the kind of doctors that I have. And I really want to bring that to light about why that is and why it's been so long. And also to shed light on the research that is happening in sickle cell disease.
So where are you with this film, Juliet? I know the short, completed the short.
The short is completed, and now it can still be seen on PBS. It actually was on the first season of the Filmmakers series on PBS, and if you go to the PBS website, it's there. I also have it in my bio on Instagram, so you can check it out. But the feature, I really wanted to dive deeper and really talk about the research, talk about the systemic racial tones and marginalization that's happening in healthcare with sickle cell and with people of color altogether.
So how can we support your endeavor? It's such an important topic, dealing with sickle cell and helping people who suffer from the disease like yourself. I know that you're preparing now your social your crowdfunding campaign. It hasn't launched yet, but our audience can follow.
Launched by the week.
Okay, so they can follow you, and then you'll be announcing when they'll have an opportunity to donate to your next project.
Yeah, and please donate to the Red Cross.
And donate to the Red Cross. Yes. So I thank you so much, and I want to thank too. PBS WPBT2 has been a huge supporter of the 48-hour film project. They've provided an additional platform to amplify the voices of our filmmakers. So we have a lot of love for them as well. And I'm really delighted that you were part of that cohort and got to share your film with the WPBT family. So Juliet, thank you so much. Audience, if you have questions for Juliet, she's going to come back at the end, and she'll be back. So you'll have an opportunity to ask her questions. Juliet, thank you. And we're going to pop over to Wayne and Adele, and I'll see you back at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks. So Juliet has done some really amazing work.
Yeah.
Wayne, Adele, welcome back.
Thank you for having us.
So we're going to take this opportunity to talk to you about your specific 48-hour films. We've got a couple of clips. So let's start with, you set us up. We're going to watch Tammy Tells All, but first set us up for the clip that we're about to see.
All right, so Tammy Tells It All is the film we did in 2019 for the 48-hour film project. And it's a film that explores the corruption behind politics.
Exactly.
There she is, ready for her big day.
Oh, shut up.
What? You're not that high school girl recording podcasts in her closet anymore. I'm just proud of you.
I haven't won yet. You can be proud of me when my numbers go up.
I believe in you. Just give it your best shot. Ready to eat?
No thanks, baby. My car's almost here, so I'm just gonna grab my coffee and go.
Fine. Break a leg.
You too. Hi, listeners. Welcome back to Tammy Tells It All. If you're just tuning in or you missed last week's episode, today is the big day. I will be hosting a press conference to address America's greatest threat, gun violence. You can tune in live or attend at Haven Park, which is located next to where the latest school shooting took place, Washington High.
Acknowledged. Ma'am, we're here. Ma'am, your wallet. Everything all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I introduce you all to someone who is near and dear to my heart. Now, some of you may have heard of her from her famous podcast, Tammy Tells It All. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Tammy Simon.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. It brings me great joy to see all of you here today. But at the same time, it brings me great sadness. Just last week, 14 victims, students, children, were killed at Washington High. We are here today at Haven Park to honor the lives of those who have been lost. And I have organized memorial services to be handled shortly. But I want all of you to know that if I am elected in office, I will make it my duty to heal America from this new plague with laws that we can all agree upon. And I know we can never agree on the right gun law, but I don't care. Just find it.
Ma'am, get down! Ma'am, back up! Back up! We need back up right away. Back up right now. Back in the bush. Let's go!
Sorry.
Does that bring back memories?
Yes. Great memories. It was a lot of fun.
So it was exciting seeing you both on screen too. So tell me, what memories does that film bring back for you?
A lot of positive, great memories, because for this film there was only 5 of us, and we were all in it. We were all in it, and we were all a part of it, and so it was kind of cool to play multiple hats. Even some of the other actors played different roles, and like one's on the radio, even though he's also the security guard or the driver. So it was cool.
Yeah, it was. And I think originally we weren't going to put ourselves in it, but some of our friends, they needed a certain time, and we were like, we don't know the time. We don't know. It's pretty much all day. And then we were just like, we might as well just put ourselves. Wait a minute, we act. Whoa, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's how acting was well done. I just want to take a minute to acknowledge the people that have tuned in to watch us on live on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Ochi, hey there. David Muir, he says, I think he says, Matt loves seeing the beauty produced by creatives.
Thank you so much.
Porto, applause.
Yeah,
Dana Della Camara, she is a 48-hour alum. Kellyanne Jordan,
Thank
good.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody in the chat,
chatting in and watching.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people. Daryl Patrice, thank you for joining us. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and everybody else out there, thanks for joining us. So, what made you decide to tackle that particular topic? What was the genre that you picked that year? It was
politics and romance.
Politics and romance. Okay, and you decided to flip it and explore corruption. So, what inspired you to go in that direction?
Well. Well, we know that politics can sometimes be corrupt. And so when we had romance, we juggled a couple ideas at first, or themes, we were trying to fall in line with Romeo and Juliet, but to make it more political, we started thinking House of Cards. And that was a little more of that dark, effective, but somewhat shady politics.
Yeah.
And so we really wanted to.
And then we thought, because the character was also like supposed to be like a podcast celebrity, we thought maybe there was something corrupt in how she got her votes or how she would make it to the top, and they were both in on it, working together.
Yeah. It was all basically we're trying to show the political scheming, but as well as talking about the political issue with gun laws as well.
Mhm.
So we're kind of like, there's two layers to that political aspect to it.
I love it, and I love how you guys put it together in such an intriguing way. I want to give a shout out to a fellow city producer who tuned in from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Wow.
Natalie Ford is watching, so thank you, Natalie, for watching us. Like I said, the 48-hour family is far and wide.
Yeah.
So it's a great community to be a part of.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it definitely is a great community.
So while you guys were making Tammy Tells It All, did you encounter any difficulties in the production?
Yeah, at first we had more people. Friday night we had more people that pretty much said, yeah, we can make it. And then Saturday, they weren't able to come. So we had to kind of plug ourselves in certain places. And we also lost our audience, the crowd that's responding to Tammy. So all of that is just sound effects. The people going, ooh, and applauding and all that. We had to fix that in post. But other than that, it was all manageable. There were some bumps, but got to keep moving.
Yeah. So that's another aspect of filmmaking, sound design.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for doing your post sound design to add the effects?
That was on me. I did all the sound effects, all the gunshots that you hear and all of that stuff as well. It was pretty fun and it was effective because we couldn't bring any guns to the park and we couldn't have a crowd of people. So they kind of saved it. It's almost like the sound did it for us for those aspects of the film. So it's crucial.
It really did. And I mean, well done. It's amazing how sound can bring you into a situation and make it so believable.
Exactly.
So, nice job.
Right.
So I just want to let the audience know, I see some people asking questions. There is still time to go to our website and register and take part in the 48-hour film project that is kicking off this Friday, the 11th.
Do it.
Do it. You'll love it. You won't regret it. You will have a great time and hopefully make magic like these brilliant filmmakers here.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't worry if you don't have a team. You'll make a team.
Yeah, there's tons of people there who are inviting everyone. It's awesome.
Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to tell us about this particular film?
I want to give a special shout out to Pedro and Christina. I'm not sure if you all are watching, but a big shout out to you all and Dante and FIU Theater and Miguel for really, being accessible to us. They know when we do the 48-hour, they already know that we're going to be blasting their phones with availability and all that. So a big thank you to everyone who supports us,
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that we met at FIU during our time there studying acting. So big shout out to FIU's theater department and everyone that we graduated with.
All right, good shout out. Love FIU. So we have another film, and I have to admit that the clip that we're going to show from your other film is the one that really made me notice you guys, because every year there's a lot of teams that sign up for the 48-hour film project, and we have a lot of repeat filmmakers, and then there's the new ones. But when I saw your film, I was like, okay, I got to keep an eye on this team.
Oh, good.
They're bringing something special to the project.
That's awesome.
So do you want to set the next clip up before we roll it?
Away.
Yeah, sure. Inspected and Inspected was a comedy we made that's basically about the lengths that we would go through in order to make sure our family is healthy. So.
Cameras are down. Green light. Thank you, Twix. Snickers, watch the front. M&M's, go to the back. Let's do this, people.
What's our window?
My boss said we gotta let the health inspector in at 5, so we got an hour.
Is that enough time to get all the pills?
Hey, Alex?
Whoa,
man! Whoa! What happened? What happened? Whoa! Everybody put the guns down! Okay. Use the code names, okay? Skittles, Snickers, Twix, M&M's, just use them.
Why? Because the code names are sweet.
Oh my god. All right, everybody, please just focus.
I thought you were the only one working today.
I was supposed to
handle it. Everybody to the back.
Hey. Howdy, I'm the health inspector. Oscar Bradley at your
Nice
service.
to meet ya. We weren't expecting you so soon.
Oh, I was gonna go for lunch, but my mother made these gluten-free donuts, and I just had to help myself.
Yeah, I get that. You see, we're not really ready for you though, so could you come back in like a couple hours? Okay. Sweet, thank you.
Hey, what happened?
It was the health inspector.
Oh, dude,
Guys, it's okay. I handled it. I bought us some time. We just gotta get moving.
Okay, let's go. Hey! What's my job again?
Oh my gosh. To guard the door.
It's just one job.
Right. Got it.
Okay, guys, let's get moving.
Hi, Mom? Yeah, I was just calling to make sure you took your meds. I remember you used to tell me, always inspect the unexpected. Well, today is that day. Okay, Ma. See you at 7. Bye.
I love that film.
I love that film too. So this film, tell the audience a little more about what this film is about.
So this film is essentially about a group of kids who are breaking into this doctor's office and taking a bunch of pills that their family needs. And at first, it just looks like they're robbing the place and there may be some amateur robbers. So it's very comedic. And then the health inspector, you know, he somehow, without spoiling anything, he eventually finds out that they're kind of doing it for their family and that there is a reason behind this.
There's a purpose there.
Yeah.
And we wanted to showcase, a little bit, how we live in this capitalist society and how healthcare is a big, big thing. And we wanted to just really showcase, the length someone will go to help their family or help themselves, And it's that we thought that was important, that even though we were doing a comedy was our genre, we were like, how do we go deeper here?
Yeah.
And I'm glad it really blossomed into this.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you guys pulled out of the hat that year. Do you remember where our kickoff was that year?
Yeah, they shut that down now.
Right?
The Wynwood Yard. Okay.
Yeah, Wynwood Yard.
Yeah. So you came down to the Wynwood Yard with all the other filmmakers. Your turn was up, and you put your hand into my little orange cap, and you picked comedy.
Yeah.
And you decided to craft a story filled with great comedic moments about something so serious as the, capitalism and how it adversely affects people with health issues.
Exactly.
So it's amazing what you can do with the platform.
Exactly.
Yeah. We learned a lot about ourselves that night too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
I remember we were really, really nervous. I remember part of my prep, since I was like, okay, I'm going to be the writer. I remember looking at so many genres and being like, okay, do I have a story for that? Do I have a story for that? Do I have a story for that? And then I was like, what if Miss Dean, what if we pick something like silent movie? I was like, oh my God, do we have a story for that?
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of trying to prep our brains, but in reality it was like we cannot prep for what we don't know in a sense. So we were like, we just need to sort of be open and accept. I think that's the biggest tip for everyone. Be open and be ready to accept whatever challenge you may face. Because we did have one of our friends who was freaking out. And I remember when we picked comedy, he was like, I quit. He was like, I don't think we can really do this with comedy. And I was like,
which is crazy.
And I think it's because his mind was so fixated on having like a genre that he loved that when it was something opposite, he was like, well, goodbye. And we were like, wait a minute, we can still make something. Hold on now.
Yeah.
And so that was really, really cool to see, you know, us really put our minds together and then like, wow.
It was great. I remember before, because this was our first time for Inspecting and Inspected. So before we were so nervous and we were doing almost too much prep. We were like, all right, so let's give ourselves homework. I want you to write 5 different scripts in 5 different genres. You write these 5, and we gotta see if we can somehow grasp these styles. And then when we got the slip, it was comedy and sports film, which neither of which we practiced. And our friend immediately was like, "You said sports film? No, we're done. We're done. I've never comedy. We needed sci-fi or something like that."
Yeah, sci-fi is what he wanted.
He wanted sci-fi so bad. And then when we ended up going through and deciding, no, not sports film, just comedy. And when we realized we had the set, which was the doctor's office, we were like, okay, let's make this story. And this sort of Robin Hood group of people came to be. And then I remember while we were writing, we were like, this is actually really good. We should like, what are some expensive medicines, and let's make this legit. Yeah. We researched like medicines that are way too expensive for the bottle, and our friend Daniel, his wife is a nurse, so she was like, these are some great medicines that are way overpriced, that is an issue in society that people are crying out for help. And so we name dropped all of those. And
we did, and I remember I was like, how do they know this? You guys look so young in this film.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I asked how old you were when you made this movie?
I was 24.
24. Yeah, I think. Oh, if he was 24, then I was 26.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was brilliant. I was like, wow, they got this down. So you guys, obviously you made it to the drop off on time.
Yes, and that day was our first time dropping off as well. So we wanted to get there early, and when we did, there was a bar right next to it, and we got drinks, and we were like, and we would see people running. They would be running to turn in their stuff, and we were like, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. And we were just so relieved. It was awesome.
So, I mean, this is just such a great example of how the spontaneity of the 48-hour inspires the filmmakers to do things that you probably wouldn't have sat around thinking, let me write this film about, capitalism in the industrial medical complex,
Yeah, we always try to make our films or whatever have some sort of, social activism or a deeper meaning.
Oh, yeah.
So there always comes a point when we're writing a script where we're like, so what's it about? Or what's the moral of the story? What are they going to walk away with? And that really came through and blossomed clearly in this film.
Very well done. So just to our audience, if you have any questions for Adele or Wayne, save them. We're going to bring them back a little later. You can register today, and you too can make movie magic with the 48-hour film project. Vince Roberto has a comment. He says, looks very professional. It does. And you guys, you can also, we're dropping the links in the chat, so you can go and watch the films in their entirety on, I believe, on Wayne's YouTube page.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So thank you, guys. Now, outside of the 48-hour, what are you dabbling in?
So we still do film.
Yeah.
So we work a lot together, constantly writing, creating. But then for me, I also teach drama for high school.
And I also like film music videos and do photography for weddings and events. So.
Okay. And if anyone out there wants to get in touch with them, we have their Instagram handles populating the feed. There you go. You can connect with Adele on IG. And Wayne also. Okay, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna bring you guys back on a little later.
All right.
Really enjoyed sharing with you guys. All right, so we have one more filmmaker to bring you this evening. His name is Tom Lehmann. Tom, welcome to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. So you're our veteran filmmaker. Like you mentioned earlier, you have been a part of the 48-Hour Film Project since 2006, was it? 2006. Has the project changed over the years for you?
Well, it evolved for us in the beginning. You know, when you first do your first weekend, you really don't know what to expect. So it's you know, a lot more nerve-wracking. Now we're very settled, and so we've got a system, and it's much easier for us to produce the films quickly than it was back then. Plus, the technology now is unbelievable. You can shoot with your iPhone. You don't even need these big cameras.
It is pretty awesome that you can shoot great films. So you've tackled themes of social issues in your film from the beginning. We have several clips lined up. Is there anyone that you want to talk about first? We can start with the oldest, maybe?
Yeah, let's do the older one. The oldest one, Killer Deal. Do you want me
Killer Deal. Okay, so set us up for the clip, and then we'll watch it.
Okay, so this was a horror genre. And so as everybody remembers, back in 2007 and 8 was the financial crisis in the United States, where you had predatory lending and you had banks that just, you know, they decimated many people's net worths and lives. And so as a metaphor for that crisis, we incorporated into a horror film about a real estate agent who was a psychopath. And I'll let you roll the film.
And I think one more signature there and we're all set. Congratulations, you got yourself a brand new home.
I'm getting out of this hole!
This is my house! It's a killer deal. People are dying to get in this house. Want to know why? Because we're chopping prices.
Wow. Love the Dutch angles on that one. So, Tom, so your genre that year was horror.
Horror.
Do you remember what the line of dialogue was?
Oh, shoot. I don't
remember. Okay. It was a while.
I'm going to say the prop was an axe. I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's, you know, people getting killed in real estate. And that guy happened to sell the house to somebody, then he would kill him and sell it to another person and kill him, like a metaphor for flipping houses. You know, so that was 2007. And then the next one is, I think, the Gulf oil crisis, Drill Me a New Hole. That was our next one that really had a lot of the films we did like romantic comedies and we did stuff like that. But then we would get something that you could put your hooks in. And this one was about the BP and the Gulf oil crisis and the disaster that that unfolded in the Gulf of Mexico that year. And I think that
was a fundraiser to help her drill a new hole. Give it up!
Was the oil spill good or bad for America?
I say drill another hole.
I made this sign because I really believe in this cause.
Hey, I love the oil wrestling on the beach.
And don't forget about the dolphins.
I guess the answer to that question depends on who you ask. All I know is after exhaustive research, I'm no closer to the truth than when I started.
It's the worst thing to ever happen to Florida. Like 2 days ago, I was out there, man. I dropped this gnarly wave and this tar ball just smacked me right in the face, bro.
But the story does have a happy ending. Daphne got her hole drilled, became a multimillionaire, and best of all, she now has her own personal people cleaner.
John and Mel, quick side note, all right? Because I think this is interesting. In 2007, Jan and Melody met. They never knew each other. They came together on the film, and then years later, they end up getting married. And,
48-hour romance. See, guys, you can meet your future husband or wife during a 48-hour film project.
It took them I think 5-6 years to get her. He finally closed the deal, and they ended up getting married. Now they got 2 kids, and their 2 kids are in our movies now. Believe it or not. So anyway.
That's such a sweet story. So 2010, that was my first year as producer for the 48-hour film project, and I definitely remember you won the Audience Award that year with that film. It was just brilliant.
You can see we try to do dark comedy. At the end of that, through the credit roll, was the story about BP and about those T-shirts and about everything that had happened. And the ocean's like a big thing to me because I spent a lot of time there. I teach kite surfing, I do diving, surfing, all that stuff. So that was kind of an important film and subject matter.
And you had started to tell me earlier about the chemicals that were used to clean up the oil spill in the Gulf, and
they used a dispersant that they found out later causes a lung disease. And so people that were breathing this in on the west coast of Florida came down with him. One of my good friends, I won't mention his name, but he thought he had cancer, and they told him he had it at first, and then they found out that it was this chemical that BP used to break the oil down into the water so you wouldn't see it, but it's still there. And so he's gone through I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years of just rehabilitation, trying to get himself back to whole. But so that's kind of personal.
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear about that. But I'm happy that you use the 48-hour platform to amplify and to you kind of remind me of Trevor Noah and and that genre of late night talk show hosts where they're doing the news, but it's all wrapped around humor. Because if we don't laugh about it, we're gonna cry all the time.
Oh, you have to. I mean, comedy comes out of tragedy. That's the wellspring of it. So, and that's everything we do ends up being either dark comedy or comedy. And I think that's the best way to get the point across because it hits it in a more intelligent way. People go, oh yeah, you get that eureka moment from it.
Absolutely. So we have another clip.
This one, is it Eat Your Wheaties?
Eat Your Wheaties. Okay, you want to set us up for Eat Your Wheaties.
This is probably one of my more favorite films. And this was the year that Bruce Jenner, switched from a man to a woman. And that was a really big deal. And so, so we decided we were going to try to do something with that theme. And so that's what the film is about. But what I love about it is watching Jan's transformation. And I think that's what I got in this clip. So everybody's going to be able to see that. It's pretty cool. All right, go ahead.
All right,
We're done.
Turn around. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go. Like Taylor Swift. Let's take this baby for a test drive. What was that?
Oof. No one talks about my husband that way.
And don't forget to eat your Wheaties.
That was our our homage to, Christian transformation. Hey, the heart wants what the heart wants. You got to be the person that you want to be, right?
Absolutely. I love your message. Everyone has the right to live their life the way they want to live it. And I love the wig montage.
And he looked great, didn't he?
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, what a good sport.
That was real.
And who did the makeup that year?
Lynette did. Lynette Rosenberg, my girlfriend, she did it. She's excellent.
Very, very great job with the makeup.
We'll tell her.
Yeah. So I see your Instagram is populating across the screen here. So if you guys want to get in touch with Tom, you can follow him on Instagram and on YouTube.
And we have all of our films on a playlist on YouTube for 48-hour films. So if anybody wants to,
we're giving you a little tease tonight, but if you want to see their films in their entirety, you can check them out on Tom's YouTube. And you can also go to the 48-hour film project /Miami-FL and register if you want to make your own 48-hour film with us this weekend. And you can also see Tom's award-winning films on the 48-hour website. So Tom, what do we have next in the lineup?
The next one was a martial arts film. And so what we did was we kind of put it like empowerment for women, violence against women, take martial arts class to be able to defend yourself. So that's kind of like the idea of this one.
Okay.
Let's see. Take a look at it.
Let's roll.
So that's Melody beating up her husband. So basically it's she learns some martial arts movements and then she utilizes them against an attacker in the film. It's a very simple kind of one. So yeah, and that I have a karate dojo, so that's where the Geese and Lester came from. He's one of my students. So I called him up and said, "Hey, what are you doing today? Come on down, help me make a movie."
Yeah, that's awesome how you can utilize, the resources at your hands to make the films. So that worked out. Do you remember what the prop was that year, or?
The prop was a fan.
A fan.
Yeah. I know, when I cut these clips out, it's hard to get the structure. You can't really get. I'm trying to compress it, but when people watch them, they got to understand that there's a line, there's a character, there's something about that character. It could be a hypochondriac or something like that. So all those elements are constructed into the story, and I think only with you do 48-hour films do you get the idea that when you're watching them, oh, there it is, there's the prop, oh, there's the line, oh, there the guy's like crazy, So a lot of times, I think when people watch it, don't understand it. They don't catch that nuance. But people.
Yeah, and that's how we know that the films were made in that 48-hour period, because you don't get your genre and that information until the kickoff. So you pull your genre, and then right before 7 o'clock, we announce the line of dialogue, the character's profession, and the prop, and then it's off to the races.
So it's really hard. You really have a hard time cheating, because you'd have to know all that in advance. So you got to go there with that clean slate and just figure it out as you go along.
And figure it out. Yeah. So we have another clip. What do we have coming up next?
The next one is, I think it's Mangina.
Mangina. Okay.
All right, so we did this for 14 years, and we finally won Best Picture and Best Sound. Oh no, Best Music. Right?
Best Song.
Right. finally, after 14 years, we won that. I mean, we won like, best actor, best this, best that, but we never got the big prize. And this was the one that we got the big prize on. And basically, this is about gender reversals. The Me Too movement was going on, but I didn't put a lot of that part in there. But it's actually a true story. All right. And like Jan kind of watches the kids, and Melody would go to work, and he would watch the kids, and I was calling him Mr. Mom. So it kind of evolved out of that. And so I'll let you go ahead and key up, see what they think.
To be witnessing the first male delivery.
It's called male intrauterine transplant.
Fascinating.
Keep breathing, honey. We can do this. We can do it.
I'm gonna need you to push. I'm reaching in. Seems to have shifted.
So where is it?
I don't care. Just find it.
I've got him. He's ready. It's a boy. It's a boy.
I didn't realize how hard it would be until I went through it.
And you really went through it, honey.
Oh, yeah.
What we're seeing is a shift back to the matriarchal society.
This is so special. There was just no way that this was going to happen. My job was just too demanding.
This is just fascinating, Dr. Putin, that you've been able to not only come up with this, but execute it to the point of delivery like today.
This experience has been unreal.
Most remarkable show to date, and you know what? Even Simon is sold on this movement. Next time, it's not me.
Mangina, Mangina, they ain't made in China. So fellas, get one today. They're made in the USA, and nothing could be any finer.
So we took it even farther, like a gender role reversal, to the point where the men could carry the babies. So it's kind of like an absurdity, but just to make a point.
Yeah.
In that you didn't get to see the little kids. I probably should have added that in there, but we worked with 4 of them, I think, we had on the set, and they were just adorable and funny. I mean, they were hilarious. But we didn't have them in that. I didn't put them in that clip. I should have.
So everyone can go to your YouTube page and watch the entire film, and we'll get to see the adorable kids. That baby was
it's like 5 months old or something.
Yeah. That baby had to weigh about 20 pounds.
But James is a big guy anyway, so he's gonna have a baby, right? Full head of hair. That was Crystal's.
So who came up with the story?
Well, the night before we got all the elements and everything, and we were just thinking about the Me Too movement at the time, because all that was going on. And then somebody, said, what about a He Too movement? And then it kind of cascaded. And then the He Too movement was about Jan, we're taking care of the kids, being at home, letting his wife work. And, and then the Not Me movement was, like, women didn't want to have babies anymore, so the men were going to have them. And so we had a whole bunch of hashtags, and then it just we put it together, and then we chopped her all up and made a salad out of it, and it worked.
And it worked, and it earned you Best Film last year, 2019.
14 years.
Yeah. So when you win Best Film, you got your award there.
This is for the song.
Oh, that was for the song. Okay.
The other one. Back up here. I got it up there on my little shelf.
So when your film wins Best Film, you get to go to compete at our final round of competition, which is called Filmapalooza. And I believe last year it was in
Rotterdam.
Rotterdam. Did you get to go to Rotterdam?
No, we went to Corona Palooza, which was basically staying in our house for 4 months, doing nothing. So that kind of happened right at that time. I mean, this whole year is like I haven't worked all year at my regular job of teaching karate or teaching kite surfing, or even, just we've been here. you know, in the house. So we were all planning to do that, but then this, you know, that epidemic, you know, the pandemic happened, and that was that.
That was that, yeah. So we did run a series of stuck at home 48 challenges for those who were dying for some way to entertain themselves during the social distancing. And, you know, we've taken this year's 48 completely virtual. So while we're still social distancing and trying to be safe and waiting for this pandemic to pass us by, we're gonna, you know, have a fun filmmaking weekend this weekend. And if you want to participate, you can go to our website and register for the 48-hour film project. It's kicking off Friday night. So, Tom, how did it feel to finally win Best Film?
Well, that was great. It was, yeah, that was nice. You know, a couple times I think we got close. I think Eat Your Wheaties got number 2, and I forget what was it. The one that won that year was like a really like scary, like horror bondage, and it was crazy. But that was kind of cool.
Souvenir, yes, it was
actor for that
by the 1310 Bandits that year. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that one. And you know, there's some pretty good films, man. They're hard. You know, it's hard to win. You know, because you watch them, so you can see. And
yeah, it's amazing what you filmmakers are able to do in 48 hours. I'm blown away every year, and every year the films get better and better.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, as the technology gets better and you're filming, did you shoot Mangina with your cell phone?
No, we shot that with a Canon. We shot that with a Canon, and we used booms and we used lavaliers. So we tried to really get a good sound on it. And when we do this, we also use a Zoom, one of those little, you know, the things, so you can record sound. So you can still get good audio with the iPhone, but you just got to have that exterior system to work with. But yeah, we shot a little bit different on this one. But the other ones we did many of them just the iPhone. And the iPhone's so easy because it's just like that.
Yeah, I believe we have several filmmakers that use the iPhone, so you don't need any fancy equipment. You know, it's about great storytelling, and I love how you use, you know, the platform to amplify these social issues that are like near and dear to your heart, or what's happening, you know, topically in the news that year. Definitely well done, and we've been entertained and delighted each year by your films, Tom.
I'm happy for that. That's cool. Yeah, we try to take something that's current, whatever's happening. Like this year, oh my God, I mean, there's so much stuff. It's like 1918 flu, the Great Depression, Watergate, the Civil Rights Movement. I mean, all rolled up into one year. It's crazy, insane.
Yeah, lots of material for artists. So filmmakers, come on, join the 48-hour film project. We want to see your films on the big screen and little screens. Tom, thanks for sharing your clips. At this point, I want to bring back all of the other filmmakers, and I want to open up for questions from the audience. So anyone who's tuned in, if you have questions for Tom, Delwyn, and Juliet, now's your opportunity to post your questions. While we're waiting for the questions to come in, I want to take an opportunity to shout out Robert Tass-Smith. I believe he's watching. Hey, Robert. We are enjoying talking about your fantastic film. Cool. And wish you could have been here with us. Okay, so any questions? No questions yet.
Oh, there it is.
Kathleen, how will you be screening your films this year? That's Natalie Delport, our city producer from Johannesburg. Natalie, we will be bringing the films to a live streaming situation. So we'll be announcing that pretty shortly, but we're not going to do a public screening this year. There will be a link on our website where you guys can purchase a ticket and you can watch the films in the comfort of your own home. You can make your own popcorn this year and be safe. And invite your friends over, and we'll also have an opportunity to vote for, your favorite. Every year we do audience awards. So all of that will be incorporated into the online screening. Thanks for that question, Natalie. Robert Tass Smith says, hey, I miss the 48 more than my own family. I miss you too, Robert. Robert, you can definitely make a movie. You can collaborate. I know you're not in South Florida anymore, but you can definitely collaborate and make a film for the Miami-Fort Lauderdale 48-hour film project. Okay, so OG has a question for all the filmmakers. Who would you say is your inspiration, director, producer wise? Let's start with Juliet.
I really love Ava DuVernay and Issa Rae are some of my really favorites right now because of the kind of stories that they tell, and basically also their writing is very my style of writing, and I kind of really get exactly what they're trying to say very quickly, and so I really admire that. So they do inspire me. But overall, sometimes I'm not even sure when I'm watching something who I'm watching, like who the director is, because I'm just enjoying the story. And then after that, I'm like, who was that? I have to see it and I'll research it. But just off the top, Issa Rae has always been, I've been a big fan of her since she was doing her YouTube series. So I've been always inspired by her.
All right. Adele.
So I was literally thinking the same names, especially Issa Rae. I've been a huge fan since her YouTube series. Oh, she's so talented. And Ava, of course, another talented one.
And just Issa Rae's journey as well, To see
yeah.
That's amazing. It's definitely inspiring.
Yeah, I was gonna say very inspiring. Off the top of my head, it's hard. I'm just like you, Juliet. Like I watch something and then I'm kind of like, whoa, this is good. Because in my head, I'm also really into the writers, like Shonda Rhimes. Oh my gosh. And the writers for How to Get Away with Murder. This Is Us. Rest in peace to the writer for that show. But my goodness, it's just I've been seeing the show Euphoria. I mean, I've seen so many shows that are really pushing boundaries, and I'm just like in awe. I literally scream at the TV because I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. It's always the writing for me first.
Same.
Definitely, it all starts with the story. Wayne, how about you? Who's your inspiration?
I have a lot and a lot of favorites. I also had masterclass for a long time, so I basically watched Ron Howard and Spike Lee and Martin Scorsese and a ton of huge filmmakers for hours just talking about their craft. So they obviously inspire me because I took notes on their process. But I think my favorite directors right now, especially, are probably, if I had to pick three, because I can't pick more, like less than that, I would have to go with Quentin Tarantino, Jordan Peele, and Christopher Nolan for sure. Those three inspire me most. Anytime they make anything, I have to see it. It's insanely good every time.
Oh yeah, especially
Jordan. All brilliant filmmakers. Tom, what about you? Who would you say inspires you?
Well, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm like a hippie from the 60s.
No.
Sport Goldblum, right?
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Kurosawa. Love those films. Seven Samurai, Jimbo, Sanjao, all those samurai films are like, I've watched them a million times. And my favorite movies of all time, Jaws. Spielberg.
Oh,
wow.
Classics.
Ridley Scott. You know, I mean,
And it doesn't keep you out of the water.
That's true.
Nice.
Sharks are afraid. We kill more sharks than they kill us. Yeah, so those are the ones that, yeah, there's millions of other ones like, you know, I love Spike Lee stuff, you know. But those guys when I was a kid, you know, just like Star Wars, right?
Yes.
I mean, George Lucas. You know, George Lucas took a lot of his ideas from Kurosawa.
Yeah.
I mean, Darth Vader's thing is a samurai helmet. The Jedi are samurai, and the whole, you know, genre. As a matter of fact, he said that he got the idea for 3CPO and what's the other guy's name? The little guy. R2. That comes from the Forbidden Fortress. It's a nut film by Kurosawa. I mean, and he basically copied. I mean, all great artists steal ideas. But yeah, those films. I mean, when I saw Star Wars, it was 1978 or 7. Wait, you know when it was. What year was it?
I can't remember.
The real Star Wars, not this new stuff. That film, I sat in that movie theater, and I was like, when I got in my car, I wanted to be a Jedi Knight. I actually wanted to go into space and fight the Empire.
I still do every day.
He does.
So yeah, those are the ones that, you know. I mean, anything that blows you away in a movie theater, like Deer Hunter, that was another that blew me away. That Apocalypse.
Yeah. I think it's so important to study the masters. Like you said, all great artists steal.
Yeah,
Thank you for that question.
There's not presentation.
Yeah. So Robert Taft Smith has a question. I have a question. What is your favorite online resource for filmmaking? Mine is Set Hero. My personal favorite online resource is the 48-hour film project page. We've got tons of information there for you. Script writing to producing. There's a lot of resources on our website. But you guys jump in.
I would say something I watch. I think it's called on YouTube called Film. It's like a not no film school, but it's like that. It's called Film something, I forget. Film Hero or something. But I can just turn that on YouTube and just have it. Especially if I'm writing, this is what I have to listen to. So I'm just like listening to little, you know, gems of what they're talking about, and I'm writing. Especially if I feel like I'm having writer's block. I'm like, okay, I need to hear some, you know, professionals tell me what is the best thing to do, because I just might hear that thing that I need, and it helps me focus.
Yeah, I was gonna say YouTube is a good source. Sometimes even like YouTube interviews. I love watching the directors, the writers, the actors just sort of talk about the experience, the journey. That's always fun. And I was gonna say Wayne is also one of my favorite resources, because whenever we link up, we just can't help but talk about what we've seen, what we've learned, or anything that stuck out. And we're like, dude, we should include this in our writing, in our sets, in our films. So I think that talking back and forth is good.
Yeah. My favorite online resource, I think YouTube is obviously one of the best ones out there, because there's tons of different channels that I could just list off about different aspects of film. But my number one, I use Celtics the most for everything. For writing scripts, Celtics is like my number one website for that. And besides that, for actual like education, I had Masterclass for like 2 years, the subscription, and listening to the actual masters who you love and like the masterpieces films and seeing them use them as examples. I have like 25 pages of notes. It's very insightful. So that's my favorite.
What Wayne said. Yeah, everything he said, just say it again.
Yeah.
All right. So we got some interesting comments here. Vince Roberto, he says, great to hear your stories. Big thank you for sharing. I usually take part in the 48-hour in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Ooh, cool. Great. Thank you so much for that. Wow.
Yeah, thanks for joining us in South Florida, in the heart of Broward County, Fort Lauderdale. Any more questions for any of our filmmakers, or any questions on the 48-hour film project as a whole? Just type them in and we'll be happy to answer them for you. And yes, register today. Have any of you taken part in any other film, 48-hour film projects in any other cities?
Our first year, we were so excited doing Unclean and just winning the audience award. We were so amped that I think maybe like a month later, it was the 48-hour in Orlando, and we made a whole road trip out of it. The entire team that we had Unclean, pretty much the entire team, and we jumped in the car and we rented like an Airbnb, and awesome. we got comedy, and I don't know, I think we were just so amped. We told the story. We thought it was funny. I'm not sure what happened after that. It was that was really our struggle. Like, I think we were kind of nervous about comedy. But yeah, Bob can tell you, we really did have a great time, and we wanted to do it in every city that we could. I've been trying to do a challenge. Like, my challenge, I think maybe a couple of years ago, was that I wanted to do the 48 in every city that I usually visit, which is 48 New York, Utah, Idaho, San Francisco, like wherever I had family. I was trying to just get everyone together and like something.
I love that idea. Hopefully when this pandemic leaves us, you can
do more of that.
Do it, yeah. Tom, I think you said you did it in San Francisco?
Jan did one.
Jan did, he did. Okay.
But your idea would be cool. But do one every month or every 2 weeks. I think you could do one every 2 weeks. Well, it depends on what the schedule.
Depends on the date on the schedule, yeah, because I checked out the schedule, and that's what we were going to do. I think we even had Philly on the list. Like, everywhere that I had filmmaker friends that wanted to do something. So
that would be a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that is a good road trip movie.
Yeah.
Could do like 12 of them on the road and do a documentary, a mockumentary.
Yeah.
Next year. And then, you can always do it remotely. So, and some of the weekends overlap, but we have a lot of projects coming up after ours. October is going to be a busy month for the 48. A lot of the cities push their projects back to the fall because of the pandemic. So cool. Any more questions or comments from our audience? Rob says film courage. Not sure what that means.
That's it. Thank you, Rob. Film courage.
That's your resource for online. Yeah. Okay.
You guys are both doing it this weekend?
We hadn't planned on it, but
yeah, same.
Wayne?
Yeah, we're not too late, guys. You can register and do it.
I just registered. I didn't even know it was this weekend. I just registered.
Yeah.
Jan did
all that.
People's availability. I don't even know how we're going to do it. We're going to figure it out.
That's the fun of it. You don't really know how it's going to happen. You just get out there and do it.
Yeah, Tom can do he can be in the Guinness Book of World Records by now if he keeps going. Like,
yeah,
never
long enough. I'm getting up there.
So we have a comment from Yvonne Grant. I tried to get involved with this when I met some people that visited the Pompano Beach Art Show. It was very interesting. Okay. So there's someone who may want to partner up with you this weekend.
Yeah.
So Okay, one of the great things too about the 48 hour, it's about community building, which is really important for our film community, to have other people that we can collaborate with. We can share information and resources. How has the 48 hour film project expanded your community, or being part of the community? Has it expanded your reach?
A lot. I'll go first. I'll go first. It was a lot. I feel like it was really cool. I mean, our first time doing it at the Kickoff, I was already kind of, blown away. I don't know why, but I felt like going into the experience, it might be a ton of groups that are kind of closed off. Like, this is our thing, blah, blah, blah. But it's very much the opposite. Like, you show up and other groups are very open and they're like, hey, how you guys doing? This is your first year. Or do you guys need anything? Or people who aren't a part of a group will say, I'm an editor, or I'm an actor, and they just come by and keep coming by, and you can just sit there at the Kickoff and meet a ton of great people. And then it's the same thing at the screenings, but even better.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool. Like when we met Tom, when we were both standing on stage, it was our first time talking. We were like, hey, congrats. And we were like, hey, congrats.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It's just a really fun experience.
I think that when you're, when you're like-minded with individuals, not every, let's face it, we're a bunch of film nerds. Right?
Yeah.
So we have the same kind of mindsets, so that's, I think there's a simpatico there. And gravitate towards these type of people.
Yeah. I remember our first year we met I can't remember his first name, but we called him Cardarelli because this is his last name. Cardarelli Productions, you guys may remember them. And I think so. We were sat together the first time at Kickoff, and he had a group and we had a group and his group hadn't shown up, and we just became friends right then and there. And then we saw him pull his genres out of the hat, and he was super nervous, and we were like, don't worry about it, dude. These are great. These are great genres. And then he went out and he made an awesome film, and we still keep in contact. And I've actually met up with him several times and read scripts and stuff. So it is a really welcoming community. Yeah. Even now we're doing this, Streamlab, and it's awesome. People are very, open to bringing each other along and helping each other grow, which I really love.
Yeah, that's my favorite part too. The networking.
I definitely have to say that I would credit the 48 hour, that it had some sort of connection, is like the center of every other project that I've done, whether it was for the 48 or out, because I'm doing it with all of the people that I pretty much met in the 48. Rob and I have done an entire, worked together on an entire series that he's pitching. One of the actors from Unclean, she's moved to North Carolina, and now she's the president of NC WIFT, and we do a lot of work together. That's Asha Chai Chang. Lauren McGarrett, we do a lot of work together as well. I've done set design for a lot of other projects that's on Amazon. So, and even the documentary and it being on PBS, Kathleen was a great help with that. So I really do think that and it took me a long time. I moved here from New York, and it took me 6 years to find this family of creatives. So the 48 Hour Film Project has definitely helped me to find, like Tom said, the like-minded individuals that now I'm branching off into all of the other opportunities within my life.
It's like a family of filmmakers.
Yeah, it's like a whole family tree.
I actually remember in our first year, after we had screened the film and everything, and you start meeting everybody there, we met Michael V, who we noticed played the cop, one of the cops.
Yeah, Michael V, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good. And we made a film with him separately after we met at the 48. So, and we see him in a ton of 48 Hour films. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool when you go and you see them in other films or coming again and again, because it is like a family reunion almost.
Yeah. And I think our film was his first 48.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That is good.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's so wonderful to have the support of the Broward County Cultural Division which, you know, helps me put together by providing space and support to put together the activities that we have prior to the filmmaking weekend. In a typical year, you know, we'll do workshops, we have meet and greets, we've done screenwriting classes. So, you know, kudos to those organizations that help support artists, and filmmakers are artists too. And of course, you know, none of this would be possible if it wasn't for Mark Rupert and Liz Langston, who originated the 48-Hour Film Project many years ago in Washington, D.C. It was their crazy idea to see if they could make a movie in a weekend. And it has, you know, grown into this global phenomenon. And so hats off to our creators. And we're so happy that, you know, as we pressed through this very challenging year, I mean, it was crazy. Like we had meetings after meetings, and we were like, okay, what do we do to keep this platform available to the community? Because they want it. People really want the connection, the creative outlet. And the 48-Hour HQ team came up with the Stuck at Home challenges and the animation challenges. And then we kind of, you know, all strategized and put our heads together and figured the best thing for the community would be to bring it online this year and still, you know, have a 48 hour. So the family is trying to stick it through and stick together through these challenging times. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are all here and that you feel that connectivity from the 48. So I don't know if we have any other questions from our audience. Any last questions? Well, I think we may wrap it up a little early. I would like to go around and just get some final words from our filmmakers. It's been a real pleasure to share this time with you all. I've loved your films and how you utilize the 48-Hour Film Project platform to bring these stories of activism and advocacy to the screen. So we'll just go around. I guess we'll start with you, Juliet. Any final words?
September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Go out, learn about it, and also please donate blood to the blood banks because we're all in need and we need your assistance.
Thank you, Juliet. Adele.
Just want to say thank you so much for the team that put this together. A big thank you to you, Ms. Kathleen Dean. You have been great. And also for those that are tuning in and watching, thank you so much for your support. That it really means a lot, and it keeps this community alive. So thank you to everyone. Really.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We're super grateful to be here. Make sure everybody who's tuned in, check out everybody's links, everybody's. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so if you're a young person, you want to make a film, this is a great way to get your start. And don't forget.
yeah.
Wear your mask.
Wear a mask.
Social distance and vote.
Yes. Vote and wear your mask. Thank you, Tom, for that message.
Oh, wear your mask. Donate blood.
And donate blood. Absolutely. Filmmakers, it's been a pleasure. And some of you I'll be seeing Friday night at the Kickoff. Okay? Stay well, wear your mask, and vote.
Yeah, the finger guns. Bye. Take care, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Bye. So thank you all for joining us for the last in our virtual series of workshops sponsored by the Broward County Cultural Division and Destination Sistrunk. The 48-Hour Film Project, Miami Fort Lauderdale edition, takes place this weekend. You can go to our website and register. We have some resources to help you put a team together, or you can contact any of these fantastic filmmakers that are that were on tonight, or reach out to me. I'm a networker. I love to put people together. So we will have a very safe 48-hour film project this year. Our kickoff will take place via Zoom. As for the drop-off, you'll be able to upload your films, and then the screenings will be online. So I hope you guys sign up and use our platform to amplify the stories that you want to tell. The 48-hour is a fun, wild, sleepless weekend, but it's also a platform that can be used, as these wonderful filmmakers showed us, to tell stories that are important and need to be heard. So whether you use the platform for advocacy, activism, or just to have a good time and make people laugh or to frighten us, we're here. We're here for you guys. So go to our website, sign up, and we'll see you on the screen. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you.